Assalamu alaikum, what is going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have a really quick one. It's very simple. It's text animations using Framer Motion. So we're going to see how we can build something similar like this, very simple with the blur animation. Let's get started. Alright, so first let's take a look at our code. We have a very simple headline component that renders a p tag with a 2XL font size, font medium, and a text gray 800. So the first thing we should mention here is we want to animate each word of this string. So what we need to do first is let's try to create a const, and let's call it, for example, headline, and let's give it the string. And instead of rendering the string, let's render headline. And since we want to animate each word of the string, we need to use split function of JavaScript, and we can have an array of words, and we can use headline and split with a break white space. Perfect. So now if we try to console log our words array, let's see. Let's click refresh. And as we can see, we have an array of 6 elements. Create a catching experiences and with simple UIs. Perfect. So all we need to do right now is just to map through that array and renders our words separately. So instead of rendering headlines, let's render words array.map. And let's take word, for example, an index. And let's try to have a p tag that renders word. Perfect. Let's take the exact same styling out here and put it right here, class name, and we can get rid of this p tag. We're missing the key from the map function, which takes index. And now, as you can see, we're rendering each word separately. Let's add quickly here inline block so we can have all the words in one line. And let's add a simple margin right of 1.5. Perfect. Now let's try to add the animation. So in order to use Framer Motion, we need to import motion from Framer Motion, and we need to precise use client since I'm using Next.js. And let's turn this p tag to a motion p tag. So all we need to decide now is 3 states, which is initial, and it takes an object, animate, it's going to be the exact same, and transition. Perfect. So the initial phase, we want a filter, blur 10 pixels, for example. Amazing. An opacity of 0, and a Y positioning of 12. The animate is going to be the same exact properties, but with different values. So the blur is going to be 0, and the opacity should be 1, and the Y is going to be 0. Let's try to refresh our browser right now. And as you can see, we have a filter and a Y positioning animation. Amazing. Let's make our animation more consistent and smooth by setting a duration, and we can have like 0.5 seconds. Let's click refresh. Amazing. And in order to add a delay between each word, what we can do is precise a delay, and this delay is going to be 0.1. And in order to make it dynamic, we can multiply it by index. Perfect. So if we click refresh right now, you see that our animation is way much smoother and beautiful. Amazing. We can achieve the exact same animation using another Framer Motion property, which is staggered children, but we can see that in a different video. So now, what if we want to animate each letter instead of each word? Let's see how we can do this. So instead of split by the white space, let's split by each letter. And as you can see now, we're rendering each letter. And to make our code cleaner, we can call this letters, and then we take a letter. basically. And it's going to be a letter right here. Let's console log our letters so we can see what we're rendering right here. And if we pull up our inspect element, we can see now that we have a bigger array right now, 47 characters, including the empty spaces. Now, in order to make this more consistent and simple, we need to remove the margin right because we don't want a spacing between each letter. And what we can do here is, instead of specifying a spacing between each letter or each word, we can render the spaces. So what we can do here, we need to see if the letter is a character or a white space. So if the letter equal a white space, we can render the unique code of white space or actually the letter itself. Perfect. So now if we refresh, you can notice that we have a spacing between each word and we're rendering the white spaces correctly. All right, so with these simple steps, we managed to create a simple and smooth animation for our letters. So now you can make your headings or headlines more animated and moving with Framer Motion. Hope you like this video. Make sure to subscribe and let me know what you think in the comment section, and see you in the next one. Peace.